we had participants from across the agency, and we're learning the same tools, the same information, and we're all going to apply it in different ways because our work impacts the residents in our county in different ways. But after those sessions, we would come together and we would talk about what we learned, and people were just so excited. They were thrilled at the opportunity to actually build this knowledge and excited to apply it to their work. One of my staff members was one of our stars on the senior line, and he went through one of the AI cohorts and immediately began to think about how we could apply Skilly to help support the knowledge base that our senior line call answerers have. He began to think about that. I began to think about, how can we do forecasting with strategic planning and thinking about trends and data. How can we get that information and actually use AI to help us gather the research and then synthesize that information for our application.
Yeah, so my experience with the cohorts, first of all, I went through all 3 of the cohorts at one time, and luckily I had partners for each one of those to just go alongside me. But yeah, training our Skilly Hope to represent the work that we do and the services we provide. It was really my first deep dive, these 3 cohorts into AI in general. And so there was just, a lot of a learning curve, just adapting to new language and new tools. But it's not hard. It's pretty intuitive. If you can, navigate any kind of website, you can build out your Skilly Hope. But it was just such an important experience. It was eye-opening in that we got to understand, I think, in more depth, what gaps there may be in our public's understanding of who we are as an organization and what we do and how we serve people, just by interacting with the knowledge base and the Q&As and thinking, from someone else's, an outsider's perspective of what they might be looking for. We got to tap into maybe gaps that existed in our communication and even in the services and the care that we provide. So it's just such a valuable experience for us.
Once the cohort started, it was hitting the ground running. I would say trading with Adam was like trying to jump on a moving train. He was just going. But he set clear standards from day one and clear guidance and walked us through it. And once we were all on board, it was a great process. Each week we learned something new that we could apply hands-on. We knew that we could take away from that day's session something that we could take to our offices, show our coworkers, and improve our workflow right away.
What's happening now is that through the cohorts and using technology, nonprofits are able to discern within seconds who is a viable partner, what are the current challenges in the ecosystem, how might I position my organization to be an asset and not in competition with a partner, but that it helps me create a unique niche that is critical to the ecosystem. When you start thinking about the cohorts we've put together, you're talking about we're optimizing human beings to use technology to optimize the way human beings live, work, and play together. And I think the beauty of what Skilly does is because of these cohorts, you're able to cross-pollinate ideas that still maintain the integrity of an organization, but it's infused with more valuable information and potential partnerships that have a seamless intersection versus a combative or competitive one. And so one of the things I think our Skilly helps us really look at is, how do you create a framework where people trust each other enough to share some of their IP? And in doing so, it produces a greater outcome than they could by themselves.